JDG, yeah, I feel like JDG kind of painted themselves into a corner. They draft kind of trapped themselves rather than anything else. They were so focused on getting the Ornn, and I feel like right now, looking at this comps just purely off the bat, I'm just favoring Team WE here.
I wouldn't go as far. I would say that in terms of just raw team compositions, I actually do like JD's comp here. It's front to back, it's very standard, it has good engage. However, it's not the way that this team really plays. They really want more out of their frontline initiations, and they've never really been about playing around the AD carry. LokeN has been more of a utility, more of a role player. He's there to clean up kills rather than be the focal point of the team. So
you're going to favor the JDG comp. But overall, 2-2. It is literally last chance saloon for both of these teams. And right now, I feel like the eyes immediately for me go straight good at different times of the series.
Definitely has been the case, and I do expect this game for more of the attention from WE to be down onto that bottom side. You have to keep the Caitlyn and Morgana honest. You can't let them just push you in all the time. So I do suspect that beishang to be pathing towards his bottom side and helping out his bottom lane. While on the other hand, I think Olaf might be a little bit more comfortable just trying to kill the Aatrox in the top side. And so early levels on, Aatrox does have a pretty long cooldown, and if his E charges are down, he's actually pretty easy to gank.
Has little or no way of escaping once those undertows slow start hitting, so he'll have to flash himself away. There's the Elderwood Ornn, still looking fantastic. He is, in fairness, and the one thing I will say is, as much as people complain about the who gets what skins, at least when Ornn got one, it was a good one. You know, you don't want a crap one. You don't want to be like a Kalista main like me and having looking
I got Count Dracula. Oh my god.
Yeah, it's not Warden. What's the other one? There's another one that combos with Warden. That for Kalista. Anyway, it looks terrible. I don't like it.
I'm gonna go with the company line and say all the skins look magnificent.
I'm just saying, as someone who has been waiting a long time for a Kalista skin, it's not fun, okay? Ivern got cool, Ornn got cool, we just got... I'm not going to say the word I was going to use. But anyway, we're moving back into the game. We're going to see this bot lane getting very aggressive very, very quickly. It has been the bread and butter, as we like to say on this particular cast, for both of these bot lane duos. Just kind of trade often and as much as possible as we possibly can. Level 2, however, does go in favor of JDG initially. So they will be the ones that pick up a little bit of the harassment lead. You got to be careful with those Dark Bindings. You get the Dark Binding into the old Snaptrap early game. That is a hell of a lot of damage that you can't afford to tank.
Very painful lane for WE to endure here. I actually really love what JDG did. They had the river covered for all the potential spots that Graves could do a level 2 gank. So they made sure that they could push without having any worry in the world. And now they're going to send Kanavi back in with his ward up just to make sure that they can get another round of wards in. And beishang's not going to be able to do anything on the more normal level 3 gank timing.
And the reason why you see Caitlyn Morgana as such a strong pairing as well is because it is something that is supposed to win the lane. As I say that though, flash, pulverize, headbutt back as well for LvMao. And he's going to be forcing the heal out of LokeN. They're just trying to keep him away. But as I say that, though, need to be so careful with how far you talk about that kind of stuff. We just talked about the combination. You cannot count out the damage and the CC layering. And a perfectly well turned around fight coming in from JDG.
LokeN having an absolute blast right there, and they actually did get the level lead in that one too. So pushing in the wave, getting a massive advantage. And this is really good idea from JD Gaming. They knew that beishang would have to punish his bot lane at some point, so they were lying in wait. And let's look at how this all started. Missing goes in with the flash, gets a good knockback, but Jiumeng steps on a trap, so isn't able to follow up that crowd control with any damage. Heal goes out first, and great find on LvMao as Jiumeng tries to chase them down, just goes down, has vision all the way through. Great turnaround from JD Gaming.
Oh, while we were in that replay, Shanks is the one who ends up getting shanked himself, almost goes down. keeping himself relatively healthily. xiye does have flash available, so a flash Q isn't out of the question. LvMao just moving over towards beishang and this scuttler. Just keeping him honest right now.
You gotta love LPL supports.
You do. You gotta love the roams coming in. Kanavi, though, with flash available, did get Infernal Chain down. There's 3 people here. Dart Binding lands. And there shouldn't be anything more said about it. Now, this is really smart from the side of JDG, as it just gives them more and more pressure around those sides that shouldn't really have it.
Yep, on the first recall into the bot lane, almost all the time the supports are heading straight towards the Herald. They're contesting the scuttles. They're trying to get deeper vision in. And, you know, Missing has been doing this the entire series as well. So it's great to see both of those supports meeting each other outside of their respective lanes.
Well, the supports are giving up on their ADCs, and they're now moving in towards the mid lane. That is exactly what you want if you're a mid laner. As I'm pretty sure in this series alone, both xiye and Shanks have both been burnt by a mid lane teleport. So they're definitely making sure that that does not happen again. And overall, supports going to find themselves back into this bot side. LokeN needs to be a little careful until his support arrives, but just taking a little bit of a harass and now gets himself back in. But despite dying in that particular exchange, we are seeing a pretty much equal spread on the bot lane CS. Again, I want to see what beishang does. He was a little late to the party down bot side with Kanavi. Sorry, he wasn't even late to the party. He was just a little bit lackluster. Didn't really get the impact he wanted to. And Kanavi, who was able to come in afterwards, able to kind of help out his team. Just so much more potent with this Olaf, it seems, than the Graves.
But this lane back timing is a little bit awkward for LokeN because it came into lane without any pot. Just straight up with the boots too. And, you know, he is getting harassed down quite heavily by Jiumeng at this point. So they do have to set up, again, another safety net for him. They do spot out beishang as he's coming across the Dragon Wall. Great find right there.
Shanks gets hit by the ultimate of Orianna. Kanavi was there, but just about 2 seconds too late. And he had to come in. He would have been maybe been able to burn a summoner.
Yep. If the undertow land, probably was going to be a summoner burnt right there. But now with that find into the mid lane, JD Gaming should be fairly comfortable in just taking up this Drake. Nothing much that W can do. No ultimates on Jiumeng to potentially steal either, so this should be free.
Should be pretty free. Jiumeng still yet to hit level 6, and so is beishang. Kanavi is, however, level 6, so you can see that little bit of a level advantage coming in. The flash is perfect from xiye, keeps himself safe. And that's almost kind of what you wanted to see from JDG, and ends up being reverse. Reverse Uno card.
That was a pretty fun flash because it was preemptive in the direction where they could get a return kill. He flashed downwards instead of upwards because he knew that Kanavi was coming in. However, they do spot beishang there as well, and they're like, okay. We'll call this 2v2 off.
We'll see you again soon. But while that happened, you see beishang now a level down on top of this Olaf. Needs to be careful, does steal the red buff away. LvMao and Missing both taking an unfavorable trade as the AD carries just kind of, ooh. Nice turnaround from Jiumeng, forces the flash out. Or not, sorry, not the flash, the heal, I should say. However, the damage is equalized from a pretty unmissable ultimate coming out from LokeN. They will get the push as well. And overall, pretty much an equal trade.
Yep, and we can talk a little bit about the Caitlyn build that we've been seeing. Usually it's Gale Force, so in the mid game you can save a flash and have more time to just farm up. And we do see the Storm Razors and then the Infinity Edge as the next items. The Storm Razors is one that we don't see a lot of AD carries going into, but it does feel quite nice on the Caitlyn as you have such long range to utilize that extra slow you get. It gives you a couple more auto attacks in the laning phase. Just very, very high pressure item if you do get it early.
This could be a bit of a fight coming in. No, never mind. xiye has got the pressure in mid. I did not look at the minimap to see that Shanks had gone away. It could have been a 4v4. Ends up being a free Rift Herald going over. LokeN, however, needs to be so careful. Like he said, without pots, he is going to feel the burn of that harass just constantly being rained down here by the Misfortune. And overall, you're feeling pretty okay if you're JDG. You got yourself a little bit of a gold lead. You've already picked up the 2 first objectives of the game. You're not falling endlessly behind like we saw you do in the first 3 games. This isn't looking bad.
Yeah, for this type of a composition, their top lane, even though it was counterpick, is holding up strong. There's nothing happening there. Everyone's just farming till their item points. The real worry for me is how JD Gaming are going to play in the team fights, because usually no one is looking at LokeN. Not even the Yemi team is looking at LokeN. So it's going to be fun to watch how this team tries to play around their backline carry when their natural instinct is just to charge in. I will say LvMao has not had a great record on the Morgana, because his Morgana isn't really about protecting ADCs. It's about killing the enemy team.
His Morgana is definitely about the pick rather than the protection, if you were to call it P&P, not postage and packaging, pick
he black shields himself and runs in. That's
yeah,
the way he plays Morgana.
I know, that's what I'm saying. He goes in, he's like, I got a stopwatch, I can do this. Did pick himself up the Moby boots as well, so you can see that it's pretty much still his full plan. Kanavi has maintained this level lead on top of beishang and able to bully him away, but with that Morgana showing up into that mid lane, it does mean that this bot lane is for free reign for Team WE, and they're going to be able to pick up at least 2 turret plates from this.
Oof, this was completely unnecessary, to be honest. Kind of off back timings there, maybe thinking that there was going to be more action for LvMao to find. He's not getting any of the kills, and that equalizes a lot of the pressure into the bot side. In fact, we do see Jiumeng now with the CS lead.
Yep. Irking a little bit ahead. However, the 6 did get pinged there onto LvMao, and Missing still yet to hit level 6. Shouldn't be too far away from it, to be perfectly honest. Should see him getting it very, very soon. There it is. Just got it as he killed that ward. So that is going to be available for the next big fight, which should be in just under a minute's time around that dragon. So overall, looking down the board, you can see it's kind of calmed down after what was a frantic bot lane exchange, but overall, it's kind of not been that big of a difference now. All summoners are available. This dragon fight could be huge, depending on how either team plays it.
So far, JD Gaming does have the vision advantage around this objective. I am looking at a ward down here in the back, so that's some place that Breathe could come in at a very good angle and just decimate LokeN in the backline. If LvMao goes too far forward, that Caitlyn might be left on her own.
Yeah, they have to be so careful. As I say that, xiye flashes away. Shanks goes flash for flash. And that is more cooldowns available. However, I would say it's still a little bit better for the side of Team WE as they get the engage down in bot side. Flash, Ignite, and Heal all burned by JDG. However, importantly, LokeN retains his. That's the important thing. They're going to try and get LvMao to go back. That dragon has spawned. The TP is coming into the mid lane. There's going to be Shanks joining into the top of that. Aatrox still roaming down as well. So right now, it's Team WE that are ones that are trying to go for this, but Ornn TPing in behind Shanks. It's a double TP. The Ornn Horn will not really gain any kind of foothold here. xiye with no flash, though, but the flash from beishang does dodge out the shock wave, and the rest of JDG are just not here. As I say that, though, LvMao gets caught out by Jiumeng, and that is just huge, and you can see there's just so much damage, so much sustain coming out from this Aatrox. The rest of JDG have to back away, and they will not be able to contest this dragon this time. Great play from Team WE.
And that was, I think, JDG just getting a little bit too greedy, because they were backing very, very late. They were backing and then teleporting out onto the map far later than WE was, and as a result, they didn't have a really good teleport location. They anchored on the mid lane, and I think xiye went way too far forward trying to make this play happen. He does get the extra move speed with the teleport coming out, but beishang is able to just sit on him, basically, and take down his life. Great flash on that one. And I also want to see how LvMao gets soloed right here.
Just gets caught.
That was beautiful.
Yeah, it was already down below half HP at that bot lane skirmish, so he did end up losing a hell of a lot. Wasn't able to regain that HP back at the base. Walks up a little too far, and Jiumeng, very nicely done, to be honest, which is very rare that you see an AD carry so confident in throwing their flash down so brazenly, if you will, to try and get themselves a kill and an advantage. But while that was all happening, we saw the dragon go down. The Rift Herald did get dropped into the mid lane as well, so they picked up a couple of plates for JDG. So the goal's still very, very even, coming up to the 14-minute mark. It's all about how these next few fights go, but Jiumeng, he's starting to get a little far ahead now. He's already got his Manamune stacking, and he's working towards that High Noon Quiver item. The Mythic shouldn't be too far around the corner, and that could be a bit scary. Speaking of scary, feel like WE knows something's up here. Yep,
Yeah.
Kanavi is going to reveal himself, and they should just pick themselves up a ward and gain nothing else.
A whole ton of wards going down there and a whole ton of pings coming out in response from WE's side. I just want to mention, as we said before, this is not a comp that JD Gaming is known for playing, and in that team fight, LokeN didn't even get a single auto attack off. He's like, hey guys, I thought this comp was around playing around me. It's like, no, it's about frontline making picks. That's what it's about.
Well, in fairness, I think we talked about, you know, kind of JDG being kind of, they should be focusing around Zoom. That seems to be their best win condition, and yet they're just not. So overall, I feel like they might have a bit of merit towards that, you know, the frontline making kills. Just not really going to happen this game.
Yeah. Oh, pick red side so you can have Morgana, Caitlyn lane counter pick. I mean, you could have picked that lane anytime. Like, nobody's contesting this.
Yeah, no one's contested either of those picks.
I just feel like this has been a really weird tournament from my perspective on what JDG are doing.
It's almost like my assessment of JDG's composition was slightly more correct. That it doesn't really work for them. I don't know. We'll have to let Twitch chat decide that one, I guess, or the gods that be. I'm sure Jordan is going to absolutely murder me if I even try and come at him with that kind of a bullshit logic. But
hey, I said that they had a good comp, but it just doesn't fit them. It feels like to me what's happening right now is Chashao is trying to get used to his new tools because he was the coach on Suning, and Coach Home is no longer with JD Gaming. Coach Home was a magnificent coach. He was able to read matchups very, very well and swap between multiple compositions, the Poe comp, the Brawler comp, etc., etc. And I think it will take a bit of time for Chashao to really get familiar with the tools that he has in these players.
Yeah, I think this, again, Demacia Cup is not indicative to how these teams will ultimately perform coming into the 2021 LPL season. It is definitely somewhere to kind of test out, limit break, I suppose, a couple of different things, see how people are feeling, see if they can kind of make something work out of nothing, or if something isn't working to kind of fix it before the new year. I will say, though, it's great when it works for you, but LokeN, you do not have any flash available to you. He will, however, get the Black Shield eventually, so Missing knows he has no real reason to stay there. Doesn't burn any summoners off of LokeN. They just get a bit more pressure, a bit more harass. But yeah, as you're saying, JDG, are they going to be the, you know, one of the top two in spring of LPL? Probably still going to be top two. Probably still going to see top esports and JDG near the top. Is this still positive signs for Missing? Or sorry, not for Missing. Well, yes, for Missing, but not just exclusively for him. But for Team WE, yes. Team WE coming into this, finally hitting the ground running. I want to see them carry that momentum. If they can win this game, have a decent run at Demacia Cup, bring that into LPL 2021. That's what you need.
Yeah, currently WE are knocking on the door of top 4, but you do have the likes of FPX with Nuggery coming in. Of course, EDG's revamped roster. Almost everyone is saying that they're going to take a slot in the top as well. So it's a very crowded space, and despite these improvements, it might end up that W are still 6th and 7th because 2021, it's looking like LPL is going to be even more polarized than it ever was before. The top teams have consolidated a ton of power. They're trying to get everything in line before the pay cap, salary cap hits and, you know, shuts down these Royal Armadas, as they're called.
Oh, Missing forced to flash away. Does not have his unbreakable will, and that is going to be an unfortunate death for the side of Team WE right before the dragon spawns. That should be the second Drake of the game going over in favor. As I say that, though, LvMao needs to be very careful. He could be just as quickly killed. He flashes. He's ticking. He's just about to stay alive.
25 HP.
20 plus HP. That was so close. But remember, ladies and gentlemen, pop your pots.
The Scorch nearly got him. Oh, that was kind of a sad face for Shanks right there. Great sidestep on him. Almost salvages the situation, but it is going to be another Drake over to JD Gaming. I love what W are doing right here. They're trying to give the first tower, not the first tower gold, sorry, but most of this tower gold over to Breathe and make sure that he can be a side lane split push threat here in this counter matchup.
As Zoom using the Call of the Forge God just to clear out as many minions as possible. Keep him in line with the CS. Does not lose the tower either. So good job by him. LokeN just split pushing in this bot side. Has got the Gale Force, but is a full item effectively down on Jiumeng. Needs to be a little bit careful about how he takes these fights. This might actually be going down back to finish off an item now that I think about it. He was out in the lane for quite a while. Does pick himself up the majority components of a Zeal item. We'll see what he wants to turn that one into. Could be a rapid fire cannon or maybe even a Runaan's Hurricane. But overall, again, WE, JDG, very, very close between these two teams.
Yep, pretty much neck and neck right now, and WE is coming out ahead with a bit more of the map control right now. I love what W has been doing this series. A lot of times when they lose objectives, they come back on the opposite map super strong and are able to establish a ton of vision. So this is really going to limit the amount of places that LokeN can effectively farm up. It's going to be very difficult for him to stay in the side lane at this point. So I like what they're doing. They're finally vacating the mid lane here. But Jiumeng is going up for a challenge.
That's the power of Gale Force on this Misfortune as well. The ability to be able to go in, reposition yourself, get closer to someone, and really put them under pressure. Really nicely done there by Jiumeng. He's kind of, like I said, you know, we had some, I suppose the word would be, some questions about Jiumeng coming into this roster. He looked like he was kind of one of the few that was underperforming after having a pretty decent year last year in 2020. Definitely feels like this series has kind of woken him up a little bit. He feels like he's coming back to the Jiumeng that we remember from 2020.
Yep, he's playing far more confidently, able to go up, and a lot of times he's playing mind games with LokeN. He's actually just scaring him there, even though it's a 1v3. He's willing to use Gale Force forward. We're going to see a little bit of damage put on Zoom, but nothing really serious here. It's still all about mid lane pushing, and maybe later about how far Breathe can take this lane up into the bottom.
There's Kanavi and LvMao, just making sure they have full vision control around this red side jungle of Team WE. And Kanavi has that kill, but he's pretty much equal on CS and in terms of pressure right now. And you can see the game plan from both junglers is to pick a lane, try and get advantage over on that side, and just kind of almost play horizontal jungling this late in the game. They're kind of stealing each other's camps, getting vision control deep in enemy jungles, and just owning either the top or bottom half of the rift.
That definitely is a case here. Oh. And, that's double up really hurting at this point. I love that they give the rebuff over to Jiumeng, and if you're going up against rapid fire cannon, you are gonna need that because it's really hard to avoid Caitlyn headshots and pokes when she has that item there. Yeah, they're just kind of playing Tai Chi at this moment. You know, in LEC they play ping pong, and in the LPL we call it playing Tai Chi.
Just back and forward, giving the energy, back the energy, that kind of style.
Yeah, yin and yang, and let's wait for 3 items. Let's go.
Well, this has probably been the most conservative game of the 5, despite it being the 5th one. But I think that just kind of is a testament to the fact that neither side wants to lose this. Both teams giving it their all. It's more about, as I said in one of the previous games, it sometimes can feel like a mistake that you give should be an inch, can feel like a mile. So you do not want to give away that inch just in case. As I say that, LvMao down to about half HP, a little bit under just cause, I guess. Jiumeng just trying to force them out, make sure they have that pressure. Will not have the bullet time for a little bit, but there's no real objective for the next minute or so, so should have it up before any major team fight breaks out.
Yeah, I actually like that move from Jiumeng. It's kind of just a skill checks, fishing for summoners, basically. That was a great corner to tag LvMao in. He has to take the path in to the ultimate, so it does get a good sizable chunk of damage there. And we are basically all waiting for the big team fight here. The question here is, typically Ornn is going to have...
Dragon.
Let's go.
Dragon. Sorry, I cut you across. You were saying about the Ornn. I cut across you for the meme. I apologize.
Ornn typically has more impact in these team fights compared to the Aatrox, you know, if he can hold that front line. So for WE, it is about finding vision where they can teleport to. Currently, the bot lane is very far pushed off. That's actually a pretty decent teleport position. We are going to see Aatrox, actually the Azir, come in on the other side. This is spotted out, however, by JD Gaming, so they do know about this.
Yeah, Shockwave lands. It does bring back Shanks about half HP. Teleport going to be channeled here by Ornn. This could be the big 5v5. Dragon has been started by JDG. This will put them on soul point. They are just going to get there. Breath is here. He's around the back end of this. They know he's around. They're trying to jump in with Missing. It's secured. JDG take the dragon. Now the fight can't ensue, but there is Breathe on the backside trying to get on top of everybody with those sweet spots. There's a good bullet time across the face of JDG. However, it is Breathe who will be the first one to fall. Missing is around. Jiumeng using his flash as aggressive as possible. There it is! There it is! It's got to be the shuffle, but he dies just before it. The health bars are just too low for the side of WE. I was so excited when I saw him coming in, but he instantly gets the lead, and Shanks, you baited me.
Oh, that was so close for a perfect team fight on WE's part. I actually think that Breathe was a little bit off sync with the rest of the team, wasn't able to join at the first instance. So when W actually closed the trap, their front line ended up taking a lot of unnecessary damage, and JD Gamer were actually able to walk away on the bottom side of that. Let's look at this again. Good play here from xiye, just keeping Breathe out of the fight as long as possible. You can see how much damage that he was getting once he got in there. Pops his Gore Drinker, probably a little bit too early in all honesty. Falls down, and it feels like JD Gaming got away with murder with all of these blinking HP bars, and unfortunately, a bit of a failed attempt at Shanks to close off that team fight. Only gets the Caitlyn in the end. And JD Gaming walk away with the better of that. They do find the Drake. They're on Dragon Soul Point right now, and also getting away with a little bit more kills.
I apologize, Twitch chat. I thought he had it. My stream, I will not lie. My stream lagged as he went in, so I saw him doing the Superman pose on the Azir, and I was like, oh my god, he's gonna get it. And then I come back and he's dead. so I baited myself. I unfortunately had overcommitted to the meme, and I was like, you know what, you do the bit, you gotta commit for it. So I'm a little excited. I maybe have oversold it a little bit, but overall, it is still a gold lead, if even a little bit of a gold lead for the side of Team WE. JDG, however, on that soul point, they will have one more to go before they get that Infernal Soul. So Team WE can't just hover around anymore, waiting for the fight afterwards. They need to be at the next Infernal Drake before JDG are able to set up.
Yep, but at least for this one, they still keep the teleport onto Breathe, which I think is very, very important. When you're playing these team fights, and we've seen Aatrox versus Ornn a lot in the LPL, for the Aatrox, it's all about how you can avoid the Ornn. It's all about how you can get into that back line. So W definitely had the right idea there. It's just in terms of execution, it's very, very difficult to pull that off correctly.
Ooh, this is a little bit of a cheeky call coming in here for Team WE. I think they're just going to back away once they are discovered. As I say that, though, they might just fully commit to it, commit to the pick, get the memes ready as they go in for it. They are going to be able to secure the Baron and do unto others as they would have do unto you, as JDG were the ones to take away the sneaky Baron in Game 1. It's Game 5 where WE return the favor.
Oh, it's the Leandri's rush once more. You can never forget how fast teams can take down Barons if they have a Leandri's on their team composition. And that was just a beautiful sneak away. I believe the Vision on the bot side did catch wind of Kanavi, so they were fairly certain that the smite wasn't there. And Kanavi didn't have flash for that one either, just straight up taking it away. Very well played.
Very, very smartly played there from WE. Keeps them in the pressure, keeps them in the know before this dragon kind of comes up. And again, it's only a minute and a bit away, but they will have Baron up for it. They will be able to get the waves pushing. They should be able to get themselves in a very powerful position just before it spawns. Now, the big question is what are JDG going to do about it?
Yeah, that's the big question, and I think what they have to do is they have to group mid and make sure at least one of that lane is pushed out fully, so they actually have a good entrance into the Drake. What is going to happen right now is because the Baron is on WE, they're going to have most of their lanes pushed in. They can just play defend the ramps, and that's very easy to do when you have someone like an Azir, when you have area of control like Misfortune. So for JD Gaming, I think their best bet is just to go put most of their members mid lane and try to turn into the river through the right side, which is a lot more easier to access than, say, the blue buff ramp.
Beishang does have a slight level advantage. over his counterpart in Kanavi. So Kanavi still yet to be there. Look at the amount of pink wards, though, that have just been laid about this Infernal Drake. You can tell that Team WE, they don't care about pushing with this Baron buff right now. They need to stop this Infernal Drake from going down. They need to make sure they're there. They're doing exactly what I wanted them to do, and they are there before the dragon has spawned. They're in position to try and burst this one down. They will start it up. It's a very, very fast dragon, but the Ornn horn has been called. Missing tries to jump in onto the backside. It's a fight on two fronts. It's 2v2. The tanks versus the backline. It's going to be secured. It's the Infernal Soul over to the side of JDG. The Graves is dead. The Alistar to follow. It's all gone wrong for Team WE, but can they turn this fight back around on its head? No, they cannot. Zoom is too damn tanky, and that is going to be it. The fight. The ace is almost certainly coming in. That was just JDG straight up stronger. As soon as the Infernal Soul went in their pockets, they had so much to do.
Yeah, and these flanks are just so damn hard to play. I actually felt like WE had a pretty good setup right there. They have disencouraged all of the carries to actually approach that Drake pit. Unfortunately, it was only Zoom and Kanavi near that dragon, and the two of them were enough against the three members of WE to sneak it away right underneath their noses.
Yeah, just about stolen. I think as we were talking about the definition of what is a steal, let's see how close this gets, because the Ornn horn is kind of negligible at that stage.
Yep, if you look at the bottom side of the fight, this is a 2v3 situation. Unfortunately, the Graves
85.
is... Yeah, where is beishang? beishang's right next to it, but he's super low at the start of it, so isn't able to secure it, and the rest of the cleanup is fairly easy. WE even are stuck here. The three-man, Zoom has them cut off, and it's just a slaughter after this.
I'm just going to go ahead and say that, you know, I've seen so many tweets about LPL not using Smite to secure the Baron. That was another one. The Kanavi did not smite that to get it. I think he
Didn't
needed it. Yeah, he didn't need to, I suppose. But like that level of just kind of like, I don't even need to use this 700 true damage to get this objective. I'm just going to use an auto attack. It's just beyond me sometimes. But with that dragon going down, that is 4 Drakes, a triple Infernal Soul. And with the range you have with this rapid fire Caitlyn, the engage you get with the Ornn and the Olaf, it becomes very, very difficult for you to really kind of defend this.
Yeah, it's very rare, but we're finally seeing the 3-item crit carry come back into the game, and with the Infinity Edge, your crit damage is boosted up to 210%, so you're definitely going to hit like a truck now.
Oh, that is the tank. That is the Aatrox who's being chunked below half HP. He gets his Sterix popped as well. Inhibitor turret does fall. LokeN, you need to be so careful, my friend. You're strong, but you're not that strong. And they will back themselves away instantly. Great work from Shanks, though. He pops down the Shurima's Legacy, gets the tower up so they can't just fully engage after the tower goes down.
That's just hard crushing for W. I really felt like W were in such a great position because they had the Baron buff, they had full vision control, and unfortunately, JD Gaming still sneaked the Drake anyway. Oh, it's just so painful to watch. But
great work from
you know, the
Zoom,
game
though.
Yeah. I wonder what happened to beishang, but he basically got chunked out super hard, wasn't able to close in on the Drake.
He tried to go in and then got knocked up by the Ornn charging him into the wall. So he was just too close to the Ornn on the wall, so he ended up getting knocked up, wasn't close enough to the dragon to be able to pop down any kind of damage onto it. So it was honestly just a Zoom versus the world kind of a carry there as Kanavi just jumped in and snuck away the dragon. But even with an Infernal Soul, you catch someone out, you CC them down, they don't put any damage, they will still die just as quick. So if you can catch out LokeN, if you can catch out xiye with a Shurima Shuffle, with potentially even like a bullet time, there is still plenty of opportunities for Team WE to try and crawl themselves back into us, because the gold lead is only about 2,000, which at this stage in the game means literally nothing.
That was one auto. That was one auto attack.
I mean,
oh my god.
You'll burn just as quick.
40% of his HP.
WE will burn just as quick, don't get me wrong. I'm just trying to say that WE have opportunities, and this is one of them, because this is a big old barrel of fish. If they can get the guns out, they should be able to get down a huge amount of health bars.
They do need someone to close the trap, because right now JDG are doing a pretty good job of actually keeping their members far apart. Here goes the ultimate. Beishang has a good angle to smite this.
Oh,
he gets it!
He gets it! Beishang over the backside and he flashes over. They will lose the Azir, but they have stolen the Baron, and what most importantly that gives them is time. It gives them Baroned up minions to stop the pushes, and that is a lifeline thrown to WE.
Oh, this Demacia Cup has just been full of people getting steals, missing smites, and all the good stuff that you have to miss in the LPL. What a banger of a series right here. This is going straight down to the wire, and it's going to allow WE to hold this one off. They should be able to just clear the minion wave here. There's no Baron buff, so very easy for beishang to just take care of that. And the game goes on.
This is the kind of Game 5 I wanted. Neither team is letting go. They will fight for everything. This is LPL and why I love it so damn much. Let's see how close this becomes, because this ult is honestly just dodged by the side of JDG. It looks like it was really good for them.
Yep, beishang does come in. I think he has a level lead right here, but anyway, he does sneak the smite underneath the eyes of Kanavi. Kanavi unable to find that one, and it's all going to be about the Elder Drake. This is turning into a one-team fight, one and done sort of game.
We are getting to critical mass on a lot of these carries as well. 5 items, and I'm loving the WE side, picking up as many pink wards as they possibly can, or vision wards, depending on how long you've played this game. This is shaping up to be the final fight in just under 10 seconds. That is when the Elder Drake will spawn. Missing, though, forced to use his Unbreakable Will straight away. We talked about it earlier, the power of Gale Force to reposition you to pressure, but the Elder Drake has been started. There's the Ornn across. They're going to use it onto absolutely nobody. They're trying to kill off Missing to make sure he can't do anything in this fight. Zoom is the one that's going to be tanking up a lot of this initial damage. The Dragon does go now over to JDG. There's a lot of options for the side of WWE to try and come in at this. No Ornn, plenty of traps though. Gotta watch your feet. We are
really
back
good
to
trap line
resetting
coming
the
in
Dragon.
now. They need to find some way for Breathe to actually enter in this team fight. It looks like WE's plan is just to keep beishang around and make sure that he's in range for his smite steal right here. It's all gonna come down to that button.
Here we go. Dragon down below half HP. They're trying to see if they can just delay this. Oh! LvMao is dead! That's the 5v4. Dragon resets as well. He had Zhonya's, he had Flash, he had everything, and now he's just gone down. The Shurima Shuffle is in. It's taken by Team WE! And now the team fight can really happen! Everybody jumping in! That's gonna be it! It's gonna happen! Team WE! 3-2 over JDG!
With the hero play coming in from beishang, his Graves is absolutely fearless. He goes straight in front of LvMao, and before he can press anything, he snipes him out of the equation. What a massive morale boost to WE, and it shatters the faith in JD Gaming.
beishang is just playing keep away. He's got the Collector and the Elder Drake, so it's pretty much to the gray scheme with you, and you can see in the player cams, Team WE will go to face Top Esports in the final of the Demacia Cup. 3-2 is the score, and that was, wow, well played, Team WE.
Very well deserved. They are an unlikely hero in this story. They were behind for the majority of the game, and it was the last two great objectives, the Baron and the
bigger mountain. It's like the Simpsons when he's told he has to climb the Matterhorn. He has to look at one. They keep turning him to an even bigger, kind of challenge. And this game was all about AD carries. Look at the damage that LokeN and Jiumeng were able to put in.
Yeah, 23k apiece, really anchoring their teams. And after this series, I can't help but feel maybe JD Gaming and Top Esports exist in the LPL to bring out the true megastars, They brought out Suning. They basically stacked themselves together, stacked their